Let's ah, 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 oh, baby. There is nothing quite like quarterback discussion. But tonight we're going to talk about obviously the depth chart heading into the spring. We're also working on a potential NIL deal. We have a lot of cool things coming up on the channel. And on top of all of that, I am most excited about the competition heading into the spring, right? Like last year going into what was a very interesting spring period, at least some of the guys felt some kind of comfort with Ed Orgeron. But for where we are now, just like what we said over the past couple of weeks, really only Kayshawn can for sure say that he is going to be on the field offensively day one, right? And then defensively, there are a few guys you feel pretty good about, but you don't know where they're lining up. And there's a lot of competition on that side of the football. In fact, I want everyone right now, I know quarterback is the main discussion, but on this channel right here, we get down and dirty and we get deep. I want you right now, just in your head, to think of the starting secondary next year, right? It's hard. It really is hard with all the new transfers coming in. But obviously, Jayden Daniels is the flavor of the week. He is the big story, and he is going to be by far the number one story of the spring outside of maybe Walker Howard and a few other newcomers. So obviously, I'm feeling really freaking good right now. I am Jack is going through something right here. I think this is how you say the last name of that Tennessee offensive lineman in the portal. We say hi to Doc Knock. What's good, Mick? What's going on? RD the mayonnaise kid. So I have to say this. I'm always very happy when I get to see you guys out and about. And boom. What better way to start the live stream with someone repping the brand, kind of like Skipper's doing in his avatar photo? Right then and there, I really love it. It was cool getting to see Roger at his place of work. And look at him rocking that PHL shirt, baby. You got to love it. So there you go. Inflation, gas prices, stock market tanking, etc. took up all my money in the super chat. Carrie, those are excuses. Excuses. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think all our money's pretty tight right now. Sup, Mick? Let's go. I do, I do keep a mental note for those that super chat. And look, I really do appreciate it if you are within your means, if you're able to buy some shirts. I'm going to go see Roger again soon because he just bought a bunch of more stickers, which is obviously really cool. And I'm very lucky to be able to spread the PHL brand out there. RD says, I feel it. Those gas prices are pretty filthy right now. But anyway, the Brennan injury concern is way overblown. It's not like Nuss or Daniels are invincible, and Howard sure as you know what isn't. I disagree with that, Mick. Obviously, for this, he's literally been injured every year. He's been here every single year. So this is Jason. What's good, man? Carter got my shirt and cards in. Thanks. Yeah, Jason, you know what's really cool? And before I get back into some deep breakdown here, if I have sent you cards, this is what I want you to do with the cards, right? So everyone that gets a shirt, I was able to take in a lot of unopened packs of cards. So everybody that gets a shirt or buys 3 booger bands, I'm sending an unopened pack of cards, of LSU cards, of old school guys. And what's really cool is when you open the packs, you get to have that experience with your kids and you're able to teach them the history of LSU football. It's really cool. Brennan hasn't been injured in 2022 yet. So yeah, that's going to be in every order from this point forward. At least the next 20 or so orders of shirts or 3 booger bands. Okay, so that's just to throw out there yet again. And of course, we're still giving out one of my favorite cards I've ever owned, and it is this Leonard Fournette card right here. $100 super chat. This jersey has been on Leonard Fournette's body. It is the bottom of the number 7 uniform. And I want you to have it. I don't like giving this one away, but I want you to have it. I'm guessing this is the bottom of the number 7, or part of the bottom. And what's really cool about it is that this has been on his body, and it goes to the next $100 super chat. Mick, Brennan has been hurt at least once every year. Howard is redshirt and got to have depth. So look, here's the thing about Walker Howard's injury, and I've been doing some research on this. All right, so he had a lower body injury, and it happened on turf, right? And we've talked about this plenty of times. Studies have shown that when you play on turf fields, even if it's your home field where you are used to playing on it, lower body injuries have a higher rate of happenings. And the thing is, Walker Howard did something that the other quarterbacks didn't do, which is have to carry his team each and every week, right? So it wasn't just that Walker Howard got hurt on turf as a lower body injury. He is having to expend more energy than all the other elite quarterbacks, because all the other elite quarterbacks play in blowouts. They never get hit, and they all played on great teams. Go look at every elite quarterback that's in the top 10 that are top 100 rated recruits. Walker Howard was the only quarterback of those recruits that had to put his mother effing team on his back. And as many of you know, it is different. You have to use more energy. There is a higher rate of injury when you're having to throw more balls and have to run more often. And by the way, he wouldn't tell you this, but his offensive line simply wasn't great at St. Thomas More. And it's different. When you put the team on your back, it is hard as you know what to actually get the you know what job done. So it's, it's a bottom line. That's why, as far as Walker Howard's injury is concerned, yes, it is concerning that this happened early in his career, but it's different in high school when you are legit having to run all over the place to make every last little play for your team. So there you go. Urban Sombrero back in the chat. I appreciate your text, man. Keeping me all together. Obviously, everyone keep Big Al in your thoughts and prayers. He's going through a lot right now with his lovely wife, who is also a member of PHL Nation. I slipped on the boat ramp slime, rolled like a ninja, and lost a ton of high to the barnacles. I don't know what this is referencing, but it's funny. Jared is great. Let's see. But yeah, the poll question, I'm a little late to get to this. Poll question tonight: who is the most likely player, the most likely quarterback to enter the transfer portal? Now, a lot of you have privately, a lot of you are privately interested in me talking about Will Wade. A few of you have sent me messages, as we always do. I like to save that for a little bit later, right? So I'm an LSU football guy. I love the other sports as well. Love's a strong word. I really love LSU basketball. I keep it LSU football. But if you do super chat, I will talk about Will Wade, because obviously that's the biggest story that happened today regarding whatever the heck even happened. I'm still trying to figure out, why are we still talking about something that happened 3 years ago? But what do I know about anything, which is, very, very little. Bobby Wagner just got released. And I'll say this as well, if you have any NFL questions, today was actually one of the craziest days in NFL offseason history. If you guys want to talk some NFL, we will get to that in just a second as well. So as far as the quarterbacks and their futures, I still stand by what I said. I still think the higher likelihood of happenstance That it happenstance. The most likely scenario that we have is one of these two quarterbacks transferring, Garrett Nussmeier or Myles Brennan. Okay. Rory comes in hot. Carter, I'll say this one time: Jayden Daniels is nothing, never been nothing, and will never be nothing. Myles is the man. Okay, he said it one time. Rory coming in hot. Welcome to the channel, and this is an intense avatar. Welcome, Rory. Good to see you. As far as the poll question is concerned, there's a storyline out there. Nuss and his camp are sending out feelers. Let's go. I love it. I absolutely love it. So here's what we're going to do. I want to see what each and every one of you individually feel about this. Okay. Type M for Myles. Type G for Garrett Nussmeier. Who is the most likely quarterback to transfer by the start of the season? Let's go with that because that's a little bit easier. Type M for Myles Brennan. Type G for Garrett Nussmeier. That is also the poll question, but I want to see what you guys individually have to say. G for Nuss. D for Daniels. Jared thinks Jayden Daniels is going to transfer. Jared is not on the Jayden Daniels train. I'd rather M, but I think G. Do you think Denbrock is going to run any more of a spread since we haven't picked up any tight ends? He's going to have to. But I do think they'll find another tight end. I do think tight ends are out there wondering about LSU. I do think the Darnell Washington thing is something that very well could happen. It makes a lot of sense. It actually makes too much sense, which makes you think it's not going to happen. Brandon says Garrett Nussmeier. Skipper actually believes both of them are going to stay. Carrie says Myles is more likely to transfer. B-Can, welcome to the channel. I don't know if this is your first time. Welcome. Doc Knock says M. Carrie says G. Doc says M. Skipper says G. Oh, he says G now. And let's check on the poll question, the overall poll results here. Don't forget, everyone, please like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video here. It goes a long way. And Garrett Nussmeier is currently winning this poll as the only person that will hit the transfer portal, where only 14% of you say both is the most likely scenario. Josh actually is the president of the Myles Brennan fan club, so I'm hoping he stays. Leonard, the winner of the Jamarcus Russell autograph card. Congrats to you, Leonard. Too soon to call, but they both may end up gone if Myles loses the job. So let me start by saying this. I don't think moving forward there's going to be a college football where there's going to be more than 2 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. You're going to be very lucky to live in a society where there's 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. The likelihood that all 4 of them stay is, of course, a non-zero likelihood, but it's still a very low likelihood. So the first thing I'll say is this, okay? I don't think, me personally, I don't think LSU is going to have 4 quarterbacks going into next year. I do think 3 is the most likely scenario. I do think 3 is more likely than 2. We go to Donovan. Where have you been, Donovan? Guitar strumming Donovan. Myles is a hometown guy, so I want him to stay and be great. But I think he does himself a favor if he transferred to a school where he can shine. Also, I am definitely the prez of the Myles Brennan fan club. Definitely the prez. Definitely. as definitely the press. Freaking love it. Freaking love it. Definitely. Okay, here's what we'll do. Because Josh has always stated he is the president of the Myles Brennan fan club. So, Josh, in order for you to claim it, this is pay for play, baby. Josh, you got to super chat at least $9.99 and match it. Now, if you super chat $19.99, Josh, you overtake Donovan as a president of the Myles Brennan fan club. So let me talk about Myles Brennan just a little bit further. And let me give you my full evaluation of both him and Garrett Nussmeier. Let's start with Myles. I like Myles Brennan a lot, right? So I shared this this graphic from a few weeks ago, and I'll do it again right here. So this is an offensive coordinator. It's a friend of mine. He came over to my house, and we broke down some tape. We talked about the LSU 2019 offense, and we actually talked a lot about the offense with Myles Brennan. And I cannot state this enough. This guy freaking loves Myles Brennan. He thinks Myles has great anticipation. He thinks Myles Brennan has amazing pocket presence, especially after the Mississippi State game. He also believes Myles Brennan has a really elite arm. And I texted him and he said he definitely has a better arm than Jayden Daniels. So this guy is normally pretty accurate with his opinions. Obviously, I trust him a lot. And he truly believes in Myles Brennan being the starter of this team. And he said if he were to choose, even with Jayden Daniels' running ability, he would still pick Myles Brennan because he said Myles Brennan. I can't get it. Jared is legit on his Mitch Hedberg joke game tonight. Here's a gallon of gas. Love it, man. It's good. Well, it's funny. I don't have a car. So, let me ask you this. For those that do ride shares, have Ubers and Lyfts gone up? Okay. Here we go. So, I'm trying to say the president of the Myles Brennan fan club. Also, I think Eric Gilbert is coming back. Okay. Josh must have sources. And I also love Josh's lovely hamster here. Okay. Or it's a guinea pig, actually. So, Donovan, we have a Myles Brennan fan club battle here. Okay. Donovan. Okay. Josh is currently at $19.99. All right. So, Donovan, you can do one of two things. You can match that $19.99. Or I think, I don't know about you guys. I think Donovan needs to go up to 50. I think a $50 super chat to Donovan makes him the new president of the Myles Brennan fan club. That's what it is, old vet. Skipper is battling Jared right now for the jokester battle here. I'm Cooper, and I haven't raised my prices. Skipper, I actually might need to hire you to drive me and Haley around here in a few weeks. It's great. So, Donovan, it's up to you. Josh is very protective over his Myles Brennan fandom. It's perfectly fine. But Donovan, here's what we'll do. I'll even raise the stakes. Donovan, $50 super chat. Boom. I'll give it to you. You get to be Myles Brennan fan club president. And I'm going to hook you up with this Fournette card if it focuses in the thing. Is it going to focus? I don't think it wants to focus. Let's see. Put it over my face. This camera? Come on. Why is this taking so long to focus? It's not focusing. I guess if I hold it back, you can hold it back. Now let's see if we do it. Look at this. This camera. There we go. going to you, Donovan. But look, Myles Brennan is very poised, right? He's got an elite cannon. The Missouri game was a work of art in many ways, right? Obviously, it helped having Terrace Marshall at his absolute peak. And it also helps that Eric Gilbert was at his absolute peak as well. And apparently, Josh is a big Eric Gilbert fan because Myles Brennan was at his best when Eric Gilbert was at his best against Vanderbilt and then against Missouri. So Myles was really good in those games. And the issue, though, was the running game couldn't get going. And we talked about this in the Jayden Daniels film study this past weekend, where the defensive ends weren't respecting Myles Brennan's ability to run and made it tougher for us to run out of shotgun. So, you know, the bottom line still remains the same. Myles Brennan, because of his inability to run, is a liability in many ways, especially if you're trying to run a simple outside zone. Now, what's going to be very interesting as far as their run concepts going into next year. Here we go, Donovan. I won't get into a bidding war, but I'll definitely give a little bit more for being the GOAT, Big Miles friend. He'll have his time to the 228. I love it. There you go. And I appreciate you, Donovan, big time for being a supporter and also being a musician. I shout out all the musicians. I was in band in high school, and that was like the depth of my music knowledge. And you know, whenever I started doing radio full time, and I was doing like a country music show and doing an R&B show, I was learning more about the history of music, and I see how hard it is to play a guitar and sing at the same time, which is something apparently you're really good at, Donovan. So shout out to you. Mark, Myles freaking Brennan, Ray Finkel, you need some money, Carter? I got a job opening if you're interested. I don't know if this is the start of a good joke or not. Ray, let me know, man. I'll happily do whatever. It depends on what the exact job is. I'm kind of interested though, right? What's up, y'all? Everyone, welcome JR to the channel. What's up, y'all? I'm just not getting tuned in, so I don't know what's been said, but think about this. Bama takes a lot of its losses to dual threat quarterbacks. Manziel, Newton, even Burrow was just enough. Yeah, so I tend to agree with this, but A&M was able to get the job done with Zach Calzada, and he is a statue. So I don't think it is necessarily a be-all, end-all, right? You know, we almost beat Bama with Zach Mettenberger in 2012. So, you know, it's not like an absolute must, but Jay does make a good point, right? It does help. And the years that we have beaten Bama and the last two times we have beaten Saban, it was the dual threat ability of the quarterback that ultimately decided the game, right? Jordan Jefferson had some really timely runs all the way back. And even though it was mostly our defense that won us that game, and then, of course, Joe Burrow's running ability was the biggest difference in that game versus Alabama, right? Where Tua Tagovailoa ran for -4 yards and had a crucial fumble in the red zone. Joe Burrow, I believe, ran for 64 yards in that game. And early in that game, he was able to avoid a sack, and we were able to stay in field goal range, and we were able to get a two-possession lead early in the game. So, you know, it's not something that you absolutely have to have, Jay. And I'll go one step further. It also helps out that you have number one, right? And let me take it even one step further, Jay, on this. We've done a film study on it, and you can go back and look at it. And Jay, I don't know if you're new to the channel, okay? I don't know how new you are. This is something it's very critical to think about as well, right? Max Johnson, if he is able to make just a few more throws versus Alabama, LSU is winning that football game. I'm not talking about clutch runs. I'm talking about simple throws from the pocket. And I got specific examples. You know, I know we mostly remember the fourth quarter, but for those that do remember early in the game, Max missed a wide open Jure Jenkins for a walk-in touchdown when Jure broke off his route, and Max had plenty of time to survey the field and see him, but he panicked. And as the game moved on, he was late on some throws, which led to some mistakes. And then in the fourth quarter, a lot of you remember the throw to Jack Besh coming out of the timeout. They're bringing all out blitz. We have the guy we want in that situation, Jack Besh, running over the middle of the field, and Myles inexplicably overthrew him. And look, we can make all the excuses we want. That was a game where Max could have just simply won the game with a few extra throws from the pocket. So I don't think a running quarterback is absolutely necessary. We would have beaten Alabama if Max just did not completely fall off a cliff. If Florida Max, right, who missed a ton of throws as well, even Florida Max wins that game. Just a few extra throws. And that was without Kayshawn, being a part of our team. Kayshawn's the best player in the SEC, not named Bryce Young and Will Anderson. And I think that would be a pretty consensus opinion across the board. And, at his absolute peak, he's as good as those guys, right? So, let's not undersell his greatness and what he can do to make it a quarterback look good, right? Imagine, Kayshawn made Max look like he was potentially the next Mettenberger, or even Danny Antling. And, obviously he fell off a cliff. So that's it. TJ, I've been missing you, man. Good to see you. Joshua said, hey, I'm the Myles Brennan fan club president. I had a little typo, right? So there you go. Jay, welcome to the channel. Good to have you. I am kind of interested, though, in this job opportunity. Ray Finkel. I love this photo. Look at Ray. Look at this smile. Look at that, man. His face is a little red, which means he had one or two bourbons in him. At this point, he's out on the town with the bros. Got a bowl cut in the background. So Ray, who wants to know what Ray's job? Ray, there might be someone else that could potentially look into this job opportunity. So we'll see. This is funny. Jayden knows how to beat UCLA, right? Once again, Max missed some easy throws in that game, but ultimately it was our defense, right? I'll never, the Max miss to Trey Palmer was still the craziest miss. Jay says he usually doesn't get to catch a live stream. Come on, Jay. That's the funnest part of the channel. This is the funnest part. This is the best part. By the way, if you want to see our video from yesterday, Jayden Daniels film study. Our film studies are normally like an hour long. If you don't like that, it's a quick 13-minute film study from the UCLA game. So, yeah. Yeah, he missed Trey twice in that game, but, there was that one time where every high school quarterback on the planet would have completed that throw. There's not a quarterback that is currently starting at the high school level that couldn't have made that throw. And Max wasn't able to make that throw. And that's not me just saying that because, he's not here anymore. It's just true. Mistakes happen. He makes that throw 9 times out of 10. But got to make it. Got to make it on the road. We need you. So, yeah, as far as Myles Brennan is concerned, you go look at advanced stats like QBR. Mississippi State game wasn't a good QBR game for him. It was less than 50. But, part of your QBR are sacks. And Chasen Hines chose to play an abysmal game. And that was part of the reason why Myles struggled. It led to Myles's interception on a Racing McMahon double move. Now, Myles could have gotten rid of that ball a little bit sooner. He also could have stepped up in the pocket just a little bit. But what I really liked about Myles from that Mississippi State game to the Vanderbilt game was you saw specifically in the film that he started stepping up in the pocket a little bit better, right? So, that's obviously a really good thing. Let's go to official Friday here. Perfect scenario. Myles gets the starting job. Jayden stays and start next year. Nuss transfers, and Walker starts his third year on campus. That actually would be a pretty good scenario. And, part of it as well, and this is a really good point right here by official Friday, is look at official Friday. So we got the soundproof. For those that want to know what those gray squares are in the background, that's soundproofing for like a studio or for like a band hall. So I don't know if official Friday is getting ready to write some music, record a track, or if he's getting ready to, I don't know, play the trombone, whatever it may be. I'm loving this photo, man. Let's see. Oh, is that a Lakers beanie? Okay, I take everything back. Okay, take everything back. A Lakers beanie? I know LeBron just dropped a gazillion points, but here are the Lakers. Really? I think the Pels are getting beat down, so I can't really talk right now, but we've been really good lately. Although I really love Nuss. If he could sit back and wait his turn, I'd love to see him stay, but that's not how it goes. That's true, Donovan. And look, do I really like Garrett Nussmeier? Yes. And I could also say that a lot of people around Nuss have become fans of this channel. I still talk to some of them on Instagram. Someone really close to him in his inner circle watches the channel. And I still talk to him on IG. And look, they've liked some of the stuff that I've said. I've not liked some of the stuff that I said about him. I will say this. Garrett Nussmeier now has, the way I understand college football eligibility rules, I believe he has 4 years to play 4 years of college football, right? And I think the likelihood of him transferring goes up if Myles Brennan decides to stay. But if Myles Brennan goes quickly, Garrett Nussmeier's likelihood of staying goes up, if that makes sense, right? Because if you have 4 years to play 4 years, you don't want a year of eligibility wasted on yourself as the number 3 guy, if you get what I'm saying, right? That's why I said a gazillion times, and some of you got on me about this, and I totally get it. It was a broken record. He should have just played in the bowl game. He should have just not played this hopscotch musical chairs trying to figure out if he could preserve his redshirt eligibility. Because right now, let me ask you this. The likelihood of him playing at all next year has drastically decreased to where last year, if he would have told and just said, I want to play, you would have had the opportunity to play in front of 5 million people watching around the world versus Alabama, and you would have had the opportunity to slay the dragon, per se. And there were a few throws I thought he could have been able to make that Max Johnson wasn't able to make. And you drop that opportunity. So now you have 4 years to play 4 years. If Myles Brennan decides to stick it out, I think Nuss is going to transfer. So he can go somewhere and potentially be the guy or be number 2 on that list. So this is the thing. I'm a big Walker Howard guy, right? Someone that is familiar with Walker Howard called me earlier today, and we had a good conversation about Walker Howard. Walker's special. He's a really special talent. I'm really high on him. And that's not just based on what I evaluated this past year. Right when I saw his junior tape, I was like, okay, this guy is for real. And I know, that there were some people that were saying, well, he is a little undersized. And that is a true criticism of Walker Howard, that he's not the biggest guy in the world. And he's hurt. And there's all these other 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys that leaped him in the rankings. And I say, so freaking what, right? I think he's special. Now, let me ask you this. I want everyone in the comment section right now, since we're having this discussion, who has the better college career? Type G for Garrett Nussmeier. Type W for Walker Howard in the comment section right now. Type G for Garrett Nussmeier. Type W for Walker Howard. Exactly, Mick. Exactly. I can't say this enough. Cannot say this enough. It's really freaking hard. I want to shout out Kyle. Your comment to start the live stream today really had me inspired. Kyle said he has been waiting. And this is like a few hours ago. Kyle said he was waiting for the live stream tonight. I really appreciate that, man. I love seeing that you guys look forward to this. It really inspires me to keep going. www. Coleman, what's up? Rory, good to see you again. Oh, look, is this the same Rory from earlier now with the alligator? Dez and RD are the only one that says Garrett Nussmeier. Daryl says, really can't say, it depends on the system. I don't think it matters, really. Skipper W. I was driving the Nuss bus, but he blew his shot, unfortunately. I tend to agree with that. And look, I also understand his logic for preserving his red shirt. I get that logic. And that is the conventional logic, right? Take your time. You're not ready as a true freshman. I totally get it, right? And I'm also the let's try to not play true freshman kind of guy as well. But quarterback is such a different position. You are never guaranteed the opportunity to start at any school. It could be LSU. It could be St. Thomas More. You saw what happened at St. Thomas More and Walker Howard was there. Eli Holstein, who has a strong case to be the best player in the state of Louisiana this year in 2023, left schools because, Walker Howard was there. Yeah, I know there's no way you can tell at this point, but that was the point of the question, right? It's not, tell me right now who the better quarterback's going to be. It's just your best guess. It's all guesses, right? There's no way to tell that Michael Jordan was going to be better than Sam Bowie, right? That's part of it. Jared says, I'd play a true freshman in a heartbeat if he could win. I would too. But then again, a quarterback, how many true freshmen are really ready to play, right? There's a physical aspect and then there's a mental aspect of it. Yeah, Skipper, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get the full story. It's a very interesting situation. I've asked and I've heard different things as well. Once again, it's in the past. It's a rearview mirror kind of thing. Quarterback snaps are just so scarce, right? Like, it's still crazy to think that the two consensus best seasons since 2010 at the quarterback position came from two guys who never got a start at their initial school, right? Joe Burrow and Cam Newton. Like, even them, you can't tell, right? Unless you actually go out there and play. And it's so hard to go out there and play because there's only so many games, right? Like, I don't, for instance, there's a ton of Ohio State fans that know that CJ Stroud is the best quarterback for them right now. Okay. But if Quinn Ewers goes to Texas and wins the Heisman, it's going to be the Joe Burrow story all over again, right? Which is stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid to have that methodology, right? Because CJ Stroud is really freaking good, right? He's really freaking good. And he is the best quarterback to run what Ryan Day wants to do, right? It's just how it is. It's so hard. Quinn Ewers is the highest rated quarterback to ever. I mean, since Trevor Lawrence couldn't play. He couldn't really play in Ohio State. It's hard to get on the field, right? And if it gets to the point now where if Walker Howard is the best guy for the job right now, and let's just say the other guys get hurt, no need to preserve Redshirt. Play. Just freaking play. You don't work your whole life to wait and see if there is a better opportunity for you down the road. Donovan says it's simple. I'm not burning my red shirt to play in a bowl game on a depleted roster. Once again, that logic is perfectly sound. The logic that is not sound, Donovan, is on a macro scale. If you are the top backup, okay? So let's take a look at the past, what was it? Since 2011, okay? There were only 3 instances since 2011 where the backup quarterback at LSU did not play more than 4 games. Only 3 instances, okay? Now, here's what's really fascinating about that, right? That means the likelihood as the top backup quarterback to not play at least 4 games is low. So, going in that your likelihood of keeping your red shirt should have been low from the get-go, right? I don't think anyone predicted Max Johnson to play as poorly as he did, but it happened. And that's where, we were in this tough scenario. Should they have not put Garrett Nussmeier in versus McNeese in Central Michigan? Maybe, but then again, you owe it to the locker room of over 200 staffers that year-round put the blood, sweat, and tears into the program. You owe it to everyone in there to go out there and do what's best for the team, right? That's still what's up, Brett? Brett was one of the first T-shirt club members. By the way, if you want to become a member of the PHL T-shirt club, right there on the bottom scroll is where you can get your information right there. And if you get 3 bugger bands or stickers for 3 for $25, or if you get a T-shirt, you automatically get a bunch of cool stuff. You get a bunch of LSU cards, get some LSU unopened packs. Here's what the next T-shirt pack will include. How about this? LeBrandon Toefield. Who remembers LeBrandon Toefield? You're getting his rookie card right there as a part of your T-shirt package, or your band package. So there you go. Bang Hammer says, I'm going to say it. Jayden Daniels is not that dude. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much more about the bowl game, right? The only thing we could really remember about the bowl game is John Shea Kirkland's courageous performance. All right. Switch up the poll question here. This is flawed logic here. Y'all get pumped for dudes that go 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. It's obviously not great. And we did a breakdown. Actually, we're going to I think I still got it pulled up right here. Let me see if I can go down here. And there we go. All right. So, Jayden Daniels has thrown a lot of picks. This is, to me, one of his worst games as just a starter. And this is just a bad throw altogether, right? Clear wide receiver has a step on him on an easy slant route. He was hitting slants this game actually okay. Those are way behind him. And we did this breakdown from our Saturday night live chat. Okay. And we'll show you the end zone angle here really quickly. And look, there's no excuse for this, right? 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. However, touchdown interception ratio can be very misleading, right? Max Johnson was 27 touchdowns, 6 picks last year. Was he a good quarterback? So don't let that, be your be all end all, right? I know the easiest stat to look at is 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, right? So, it's tough. It's tough, right? Because Jayden Daniels, his first 2 seasons as a starter, was 22 touchdowns and 3 picks. So, you know, his only real full year as a starter was, a year where he was really good. And he also had Brandon Ayuk as his star wide receiver. He did not have great receivers last year. He had good receivers. They were solid, but they weren't great. He had great running backs. His running backs were the best in the Pac-12. So, there's just no other way around it. He just regressed last year. Now, is he a lost cause? No. I do have a theory. Stare down the wide receiver too. It's fine in this scenario. We'll run it again to stare down the receiver because it's man coverage versus this blitz, right? Of course, you want to look right and go left. So his read was right. There was no one over the middle of the field. So, once again, you don't want to just telegraph your throws, but if you have deep safeties right there, you know for sure that there's not going to be anyone over the middle of the field right there. It's just bad mechanics, bad throw, you know? So, yeah. And I don't think anyone is saying that we believe Jayden Daniels is going to walk in and start. I've never said it. I don't know if anyone else here has said. I know a few of you have said Jayden Daniels is the clear QB1. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you can look at this rep and say that. All right. What's up, Danny girl? Good to see you. Oh, look at this, Danny, the avatar. Every kid is a caring adult away from a success story. That is very important information right there. That goes out to all the super dads at PHL and the super moms at PHL. And Danny is definitely a super mom. Let's see. Trying to get the card for my grandson. Which one, Skipper? I can get it for you. Let's see. I'll say that I think he's going to start. He'll have to battle for it, but he will. Not always look off, right? if they're bringing a zero blitz, you don't have time to Peyton Manning look one way and go the other. Ryan, welcome to the channel. I'm behind our entire QB room. I trust that Brian Kelly would choose the right guy for the job. If I had to put my money on one guy right now, it would be Jayden Daniels. Jay also says, I think we're going to go to Jayden Daniels. Everyone, welcome Ryan to the chat. Ryan, good to see you. If you've been here before, what's up, George? Good to see you. Let me change up this poll question here. Look, I want to see where you guys are on this question. Austin, good to see you. Official Friday believes Miles is going to win the job. All right, Josh, good night. Josh is our top super chatter tonight. Congratulations to you, Josh. Thank you so much. We get another super chat here. Rob, thank you so much, Rob. You get to pick the next topic. I know I know some of you want to talk defense. I'm totally down to talk defense. I also do understand quarterbacks are what moves the needle for a lot of college football content. I do love talking defense as well. So we are going to let Rob pick the next topic. If you want to go straight to defense, I will happily do it. If we get a super chat question about the defense, hey, Danny, guess who's going to be the center? Change the last we spoke. Rory, yeah, welcome to the channel. I love the alligator here too, man. Makes me miss. I remember at Chimes, you used to get the black and alligator po' boy. Man, they have great black and gator, man. It's so good. It's so good. I haven't had Chimes, and when I go to Baton Rouge, I don't think Chimes is like a restaurant I ever go to anymore. But when I lived there, I loved that I could walk from my dorm and get an adult beverage, or I can get an alligator po' boy. Perfect. It's so good. It's such a good restaurant. You got Chimes right there. You got Raoul's down there. Near campus, you got the original Kings. Gotta love it. The Revelry, which is a college bar owned by some of my good friends. It's really cool stuff. Anything football related. So, yeah. So it is confirmed that Dellinger is going to be center. So Blake and I had a long discussion about this actually a few weeks ago about, some feelers out there that they're going to try Garrett Dellinger at center. We'll see. I think the staff would prefer to have Tremont Shorts be a guard. I also think Tyler Steen is someone that they're still going to try and get. Look, I don't know. Let me put it this way. From speaking to someone that covered Notre Dame football really closely, Brian Kelly is a big tape guy. So as far as doing his own evaluations right now, he's going to look at the tape and he's going to make his own evaluations. And I'm just going to be honest, based on my very novice eyes when it comes to tape study, I try to do my best on this channel to do good film studies. Let me give you the guys that I think, as far as an offensive lineman is concerned, would be someone that Brian Kelly would say that guy could start for me at Notre Dame, right? One of those guys, obviously, is, Anthony Bradford, right? Very physically imposing guy. He was good last year, and he wasn't great. As far as everyone else is concerned, Garrett Dellinger did show promise, and he did play in a lot of very hostile situations. I don't think Brian Kelly necessarily views him as a tackle. Okay. Now, once again, Brad Davis is going to be more familiar with these guys than Brian Kelly because he's the only returning coach and he's the offensive line coach. Now, let's go through a list. I want everyone right now, just based on the little bit that you've seen him play, type Y for yes, type in for no. Do you think Cam Wire can be a starting offensive tackle in the SEC? Type Y for yes, type in for no, right? This is a guy who played well against teams that he should play well against. This is also a guy who has struggled versus the better competition, okay? So do you think Cam Wire could be a starter at offensive tackle? Friday says yes. Carver says yes. Banghammer says no. Mick says yes. I like Cam Wire better at guard as well, right? When he played guard, he was actually really good. Tackle's a little bit different. Obviously it depends left or right tackle. I think Miles Frazier is pretty much a lock at this point because he just doesn't have that much competition at offensive tackle going into next year. So I would guess more than likely right tackle, but we'll see. Now, let's go to another guy who played a lot in unbalanced line situations. How many of you feel Marcus Doomerville can be a starting offensive lineman right now? Okay. Type Y for yes, type in for no for Marcus Doomerville. Okay. Do you think he's ready to be a starter? Type Y for yes, type in for no. just based on the little bit you've seen. I was just thinking about this guy right here. I-10 Roman is back in the chat. One of the many truck drivers of PHL. Good to see him, man. I don't think Campbell's going to start. I do think he's going to play, and I think mid-season he'll have the opportunity to win the job. Cam Weyer's more athletic than Decky. Let's put him at right tackle and let him and Dumerville battle. I do agree with this. Might not be as strong as Deculus, but he is a better overall athlete. Now, this is going to be the spiciest name. Okay, this is a guy who started at the end of the season, who always starts a firestorm here. Type Y for yes, type in for no for Cardell Thomas. Okay, type Y for yes, type in for no. Ryan says yes for Cardell. Oh, man, at Ruth Chris. Let's go, man. Ruth Chris. Which location? I'll come meet you. Ruth Chris, let's go. I love their rolls. Steak is good. So Ruth Chris does a good steak, right? And Lafayette. Let's go. It's going down in the 337 at Ruth Chris, baby. I love it. Let's go. Oh, man, I could go for a Ruth Chris steak right now. Man, me and I-10 Roman, man, I love it. That'd be great. Man, that truck driver pay be good going to Ruth Chris, baby. Let's go. Let's go. You know what's funny? Ruth Chris also does some good grilled chicken. Let's see. Rory says yes for Cardell. I love it. Bang Hammers is out for Cardell. Let's see here. I like Ruth Chris, though. You know, the more I think I do like Ruth Chris. I can get down. I can get a Ruth Chris NIL deal. All right. Let's see what I got here. Boom. Don't forget, we want you to join the T-shirt club like Roger Dodger TMK. Hi. Nah, I don't buy it. You don't buy Ruth Chris? Bang Hammers, you need to get you a shirt. Join the T-shirt club with PHL. Look at that. Sweet potatoes. I love it. That's what I'm talking about, boy. That sweet potato. Let's see. Danny, I got you on the 4XL medium. I actually have to order a bunch of shirts. We were close to selling out of shirts. That's good, man. That's good. It's kind of crazy though. Like the cost of just everything is just up. Hand delivered shirt, baby. Roger paid for my gas to go hand deliver that shirt. What's good about it though is that I sold another shirt there while I was there. It was good times. Brett, we're going to Pyranes. Is it on you next time I'm in town? I'm down for some pie. I've, you know what's funny? I've never had Pyranes. Never been there, right? You know, if you're visiting Baton Rouge, you only have so much time, and I always go eat at my family's house, so they always have food, you know, already made. So, like, I guess my top spot now, I don't know. If there is a Baton Rouge restaurant, if you want to sponsor the channel, guess what? You would automatically be my top spot. I do. I'm gonna tell you this: Baton Rouge's food has gotten better even since when I was at school, right? I still love Zippies. I still love Zippies, and I don't go there as often, but man, I had a birthday party at Zippies. It was phenomenal. Let's go. I'm going to BR this weekend. Any quick suggestions? Ooh, it's tough, RD. I mean, there's so many places, right? Rafino's. What's up, Brantley? Guys, I was just on a show, Tig Bits. I still love that name. Tig Bits. I love it. But yeah, you know, Zippy's is like a good, affordable place where, you know, you can get a super large daiquiri, get your buzz going, and get a burrito for $20. You know, it's not bad, right? It's pretty high quality daiquiri. Haley's a harsh daiquiri critiquer, and I agree, Mike. These shirts are gonna sell out. I'm wearing my national championship shirt. But yeah, PHL shirts. Let's go. Dragos. I didn't know Dragos did steaks. I thought they only were known for oysters. Let's go. Fleur de lis. Yeah, that pizza is pretty fire. Let's go. Aaron, what's up, man? It's pretty good. The two offensive staff wants to play. Yak will be critical. Who other than Kayshawn do you think has the best run after catch ability? I would probably say Besh. You know, Malik obviously has some of that to his game as well. But it's probably Jack. You know, Jack was one of the few wide receivers in college football that had an over 70 PFF grade when it comes to beating man coverage, which is really hard to do, right? That's a hard, I think roughly 20 college football wide receivers they chart gets that level of a grade. Aaron, thank you for the super chat, my friend. By the way, that is Aaron's photo of when he played football in his heyday. From people's responses, I wonder, do y'all think these guys enter the portal then start talking to people? I guarantee you LSU's been talking to JD for a while. I'll tell you this, Pegasus, I have it on pretty good authority that they were evaluating him for a while. Now, when the first contact was made, I don't know. But here's what I think happened, okay? Now, here's what I think happened. I think when Brian Kelly called Myles Brennan, you know, obviously there was no way up to that point that Brian Kelly was able to do a full film evaluation of Myles Brennan up to that point. And obviously, since Myles Brennan, has been around, a lot can change. And I think Brian Kelly said, look, I am a new coach here. I kind of want to bring in one of my own guys at this very critical position. And that's exactly what he did. So, if you could bring in an extra quarterback, all the power to you. Now, I don't know what Brian Kelly's exact words were, but we'll see. So, Aaron, you get to pick the next topic. Once again, we can move on to the defense. We could talk about whatever Aaron wants to talk about. We could talk about Russell Wilson. We could talk about Aaron Rodgers. We really want to keep it LSU football related. We'll get into some LSU basketball a little bit later. But once again, anything Aaron wants to talk about, the floor is his. The Ruby Slipper this weekend. The Ruby Slipper. I don't know what the Ruby Slipper is. Let me see. The Ruby Slipper Cafe in Baton Rouge. Oh, this is in the oh, I saw this. Saw Perkins. Yeah. Right next to Trader Joe's. I wish I could go down this weekend, but I can't. There you go, Aaron. I appreciate you, man. I really do. And I can't wait to have the red velvet Hennessy cupcakes. That's all I'm looking forward to. It's an awesome brunch spot. That's true. But here's my thing about brunch in Baton Rouge. I don't think like you go to Baton Rouge and you say, you know what I want? I want a good pancake and mimosa. That's what I want. But I'm down for pancakes and mimosas, baby. It's an awesome brunch spot. Let's go. I love it. I'm down for some brunch. I spent a lot of money in that Trader Joe's when I'm there, though. Haley only eats Trader Joe's food. I'm dead serious, right? Trader Joe's is elite. It's just elite. They're my favorite grocery store. I'm also a Mathern's, and I get down with a lot of other places as well. But yeah, Trader Joe's is bomb. This is Haley's favorite place, Phil's. BK brought in Brennan because at the time he literally had one quarterback on the roster who might be looking to transfer, take him to be safe. I totally agree with that. There's no downside for Brian Kelly to do what he did with Myles Brennan. Now, would it be something if Myles Brennan said, look, or if Brian Kelly said, look, Myles Brennan, you are for sure going to be the starter next year? Yeah. Do I think he said that? Probably not. Probably not. So there you go. When did BR get a Trader Joe's? I don't know when that happened. I don't. Skipper. Everyone loves seeing old Skipper in here. Look at that. Everybody wants to know what that's going on with that mustache and beard right there. Look at that. I moved in 2011. I miss it every day for real, y'all. Baton Rouge is a magical place. Yeah, if he did at the time, he told Brennan that it would technically be true. Yeah, then that gets into semantics, right? Veal Parmesan Rocky and Carlos and the Parish. Let's go, the Parish. Carl thinks Baton Rouge is falling off. Or I'm guessing just by your comment. Love Baton Rouge, but it's not the same anymore. I will say this, I do think it's gotten better, but I also think, just based on me talking to my family there, they don't feel safe there anymore, right? Whether it just be what just happened there a few weeks ago outside the mall in Louisiana or just whatever, right? It is different. It is different. I know the traffic is a whole different thing. Since Brennan came back out of the portal, can he technically go back in without having to sit a year? I think so. I think so, Danny. Right? Um, so yeah, I don't think he officially signed anything to go anywhere else. You know, you're allowed to enter the portal and come back to your team, I believe, as many times as you want to, just based on my very novice understanding of the rules. And once again, I'm not a compliance guy or gal, but we'll see. Now, here's what we'll do. We are an hour and 11 into this. I need you guys to like this video. Okay, let me take a look at the like count right now. We are currently at 43 likes with 80 viewers. It's obviously really good, but we want 80 likes. I love it. But yeah, Miles can go wherever he wants to go. All right. I know a lot of you have been wanting to talk defense. JR wants to bring up defense. So let me ask you guys this. Do you want me to keep talking about quarterbacks? Do you want me to go to the defensive side of the ball? Obviously, if you super chat, we'll go straight to your topic. I don't mind talking about defense. Obviously, I have some strong thoughts on the defense. You don't think those Arkansas kids didn't talk to LSU before entering? You don't think we still talk to those LA receivers at Bama? Yeah, and Pegasus I also think this is true as well, right? I also think illegal has never really mattered in college football, right? You can always find some way around it, okay? So, I think illegal is kind of like, unless you just for sure get caught with text messages or whatever. And even if you don't keep in constant contact, there's so much movement with coaches now, and relationships are so heavily built now in college football that recruits know that they can always go back to that school and they would accept them, right? And there's other ways around keeping in constant communication. So there you have it. Yeah, so as far as the Frank Wilson lawsuit, you just don't I just don't know enough right now, right? Like, number one, I'm not a lawyer. And number two, obviously, it's a very serious matter. And it's not a Frank Wilson lawsuit. This is a Sharon Lewis lawsuit. So once again, I don't know the particulars about what happened unless there was a smoking gun. I don't know what's actually going to happen with Frank Wilson. So I'll leave it at that. Once again, a lot of what Sharon Lewis has done up to this point has been thrown out. But once again, that doesn't take away the merit of what's happening now. So once again, I just don't know too much about it. I don't think I'm smart enough to read a lawsuit anyway. Defense sounds good. I'm comfortable no matter who starts at quarterback. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Ah, 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 ah. Hey, NCAA, for watching. Our coaches do not do this or violate the regulations. But every single other coach does that in the SEC. NCAA. I wanted you to know that. And I have all the evidence in my phone. Something else about the Darnell Washington thing. One of those UGA tight end parents and ask how they're doing. Will Wade. Talk a little bit about Will Wade. We're to this point of the live chat. Look, so the Pat 40 conversation, right? Do I think Pat 40 just hates LSU and hates Will Wade? No, but I do know that he knows that every time he brings it up, he gets a bunch of angry clicks, right? So, you do kind of know that it's not so much clickbait because it is journalistically important to talk about violations, right? Now, as far as Will Wade's involvement in the wiretap and all that stuff, once again, the recordings aren't great. I don't think anyone has ever said that. But at the same time, it's like, in the grand scheme of things, what does it really matter? Right? It's 3 years ago. There's no other coaches that are making a big whoop about this. I think mostly other fans of other schools are like, how is Will Wade still coaching right now? I mean, it just gets old after a while. I am more so open to talking about why Will Wade's teams continue to make the mistakes they do on the court, right? And look, if I was a fan of another school and LSU consistently shoots themselves in the foot during games, then I want Will Wade to still be the coach at LSU if those things are happening, right? Now I understand Will Wade recruits at an extremely high level. He can be an intimidating coach for other coaches to coach against, and he does get a lot of good effort out of his players. But they make these same mental lapses that they normally do, uh, that you see during the course of the game, where you give up just so many breakaway easy buckets. You give up so many wide open jumpers and so many easy lay-ins, right? And you've just seen this consistently from Will Wade teams. So as far as like those allegations are concerned and those being brought back up, once again, I don't cover LSU basketball. I don't follow them that closely. I watch games on occasion. I rarely am able to watch a full game, but you know, the timing of this is interesting. Going right into March Madness, I'm just sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Right? They try, the thing that blows my mind is Sean Miller at Arizona lost his job, and the evidence surrounding him was even less juicy than potentially Will Wade's situation. Once again, I'm a novice college basketball guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in a college basketball expert on Tuesday before March Madness. He agreed to come on for a little bit. It's kind of hard to get a March Madness real college basketball expert on because Tuesday night is when March Madness actually starts with the first four. Not this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. So, yeah. Dickie V does. Dickie V. So, Dickie V is going to love the coaches that he adores, which of course are going to be mostly older coaches that, he's been covering and knowing for a long period of time. Will Wade's not one of his guys, so he's always going to get after Will Wade. Once again, Jordy Collada has put Dick Vitale in his place plenty of times. I grew up a Dick Vitale fan because I grew up a college basketball fan. I grew up watching ESPN. I haven't liked some of the stuff he has said about LSU because some of it is just, witch honey, right? But obviously, I am very happy that Dickie V is getting good reports about his cancer. So, that's obviously a really good thing. The wiretap, baby. The thing I don't get is like the FBI getting involved, right? What is so illegal about the FBI getting involved with this, right? I understand that it could be against the rules, but is it against the law, some of the stuff that's happening? So, yeah. I wanted to show you guys this. I know some of you are big time sports fans. Got my first Tiger Woods rookie card in the mail. I know you guys don't care. Look at that young Tiger. Look at that. That's such a cool photo of him, too. Dickie V. Let's go. It's awesome, baby. John, welcome. Now, I just touched on the that was a Will Wade stuff right there. Let's see. Yeah, Jared, I'm going to be down there in a few weeks. Me and Skipper are getting to meet up. It'll be very brief, though. That's the thing. And Skipper knows that, but he lives there. So I wouldn't want you to make the trip and not be able to, hang and go get hammered and go have brunch. I guess we can go get a quick brunch. Tiger Woods, Stanford Cardinal legend, Tiger Woods. Yeah, Jared, I'll shoot you a message and we'll see if we can work something out. It's amazing. Jared might drive 3 hours to come see me, but he wouldn't walk 20 minutes to the PHL meetup because he was tailgating out past the vet school. Who tailgates out past the vet school? You're legit tailgating in Jerusalem. And our PHL meetup was in the middle of campus. But somebody was tailgating out in Jerusalem. Taxes is what the FBI wants. You know what's interesting, Rob? You brought that up, and thank you for your super chat a minute ago, Rob. I'll talk about this because you did super chat, because this is a little bit of an out there thing. So Matt Brown is a really talented writer, and he does a Substack called Extra Points. Okay, and Matt's report said that the a major hurdle for name, image, and likeness is going to be taxes. And now that it's tax season, there is, and a lot of you brought this up, and it's starting to become to fruition. Taxes are kind of a weird issue, right? So, like, at Texas, they started the Pancake Fund through a nonprofit organization, and what happened was pretty simple, right? With the name, image, and likeness thing, they said, look, we want to see how much money you've gotten. Are you properly reporting how much money you're making to compliance? And I can easily see where players aren't doing that. I've brought this up before. I did pay an LSU football player to tweet something out. Didn't say post ad or anything. I was like, hey, it was right when it happened. And I was like, do it. And I cashed apped him. It wasn't even that much money. It was like $20. And I don't know. I don't know if that was ever reported or anything like that. So, it's crazy to think like how that stuff works, right? So I don't know. As far as like taxes are concerned, does it really matter? Does it really matter if you report every last little thing? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It was a 30-mile walk up a mountain both ways. Blue Fetty, lighting up them candles as always. Light it up. Huh? 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 It was a 3-mile walk up a mountain both ways. I don't even want to know what my taxes are going to be. Last year, they destroyed me. I didn't know self-employed people get destroyed by taxes, but we do. Carter, when do I get my tax form so I could write off my super chats? Big Mac was good, man. Fetty. Reed has been on this. We need another corner. Already got 2, Reed. Reed, aren't you a big Ray Darius Jones guy? I'm down with rolling with Radar next year. Ready for another NCAA video game. I love it. What's up? Let's see here. Let me look at this real quick. Reed says we need another corner. Let me pull this up really quickly. Transfer portal corners. Let me pull up corners. Let's see what we got here. Kedron Smith, Quincy Riley, KJ Wallace from Notre Dame. Still out there. Eric Reed. Eric Reed's worked out at LSU before from Auburn. Drayshawn Miller's also in the portal. The corner. There you go. Carter, I saw what you said about Jayden Daniels on Rick show, and it was true about him not throwing into a window. All of his throws are deep and slaying skinny posts. Not saying he can't make them, but yeah, I look. What's up, Dev? Good to see you, man. Always making me happy. Always making me feel good about myself. I tend to see this as well, Reed, right? The intermediate throws, and I included this in our UCLA film study. If you go back and watch his UCLA game, they did not do a good enough job making him make difficult throws, right? A lot of his throws were just simple screens or simple reads versus man coverage. So essentially, what we did versus DVR defensively, which was making it too easy for him to read the defense, is the same mistake UCLA did defensively versus Jayden Daniels. So, not every quarterback is Bryce Young and can manipulate and read a defense really well at a young age. But, Jayden Daniels, his mechanics can be erratic. And, you make a good point. It's tough. Papa, we already touched on this. Jared with the super chat. Thank you so much. Do you think they'll wait till after the spring to fill the remaining spots? That's a good question, right? They still have 3 slots remaining. Obviously, Blue Fetty, as far as the position of quarterback, there's no waiting. You got to go after it. Jayden Daniels knew he probably needed to get into a spring camp for him to compete for a starting job somewhere else. Do I think they wait till after the spring? Obviously, it depends on the player. But let's take Notre Dame's George Takis, right? A tight end who's familiar with what Brian Kelly wants to do. You don't have to wait till the spring to go get him. You need tight ends right now. I don't know if you want Jack Besh to be your only tight end. Obviously, Jack Mashburn played well last year, and I also think for me, it's critical to keep this in mind as far as Cole Taylor next year. I've always said that he is a year 3 prospect as far as his body and physically being ready to play. He's not been good up to this point. And I don't know how good you could feel about Cole Taylor going into next year as your most experienced, savvy tight end. I do think Darnell Washington is a very real possibility. And I think it makes too much sense for that to not happen. Number 1, LSU needs tight ends. Number 2, Darnell Washington is from Georgia. Cortez Hankton is obviously Coach Darnell Washington at Georgia. Makes too much sense for this to not happen. I do think, I don't have any inside information on this, but I just think that makes too much sense for Darnell Washington to go to a high profile school, which he's already at. So you're transferring to another really good program. And just by default, you're going to get the opportunity to play. To what level and to what extent, I don't know. Hunter says we should run the wishbone. I don't think we should, but I think the Seattle Seahawks, someone tweeted this out today, they need to draft Jordan Davis, the nose tackle out of Georgia, who just ran a 4.8, and let him run the option next year. Steven, welcome to the channel. I said today, what is your prediction for the overall record for 2022? Steven, is this your first time to the channel? Let me know. So obviously, as far as guessing like specific records, the best thing for you to do is look at games that you could say for sure are automatic wins. So just looking at the schedule right now, Southern's an automatic win, New Mexico's an automatic win, and UAB is an automatic win. So there's 3 wins for you right there. Every other game right here is a 50-50 proposition or worse. Florida State's a 50-50 game. Mississippi State's a 50-50 game. At Auburn, because that game's on the road's a 50-50 game. You kind of get unlucky that you get a good Tennessee team on the non-cross division rival game that you play. Then at Florida, that's going to be a 50-50 game, and Ole Miss as well. Alabama, they probably win that game. They're just a better team than us going into next year. But I also think after the bye and us being at home, we're going to be very motivated, and we can win that game. So at Arkansas, at Texas A&M, 2 very difficult road games. That's obviously a brutal month to end the year. So there you go. I'll say this, right? I think LSU will for sure get to 7, and I think their ceiling is 11. I do. So I feel pretty good about 7. I do. First time make a comment, we'll be ordering a shirt, 1984 graduate. There you go, Steven. It's pretty simple to order a shirt. All you got to do is Venmo or Cash App me at Carter the Power. If that is something you're not able to do, just shoot me an email, powerhourlsu@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. And any of you guys can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Carter the Power. You could shoot me a message on there, and that way we can figure out, a payment plan, and we can get you to your shirt. We can get your shirt order. And obviously with every shirt order and the next shirt order, okay, depending on when you order the shirt, the next shirt order will be getting a LeBrandon Tofield rookie card. I'll also throw in a Jamar Chase and a few others. PHL, bam! Johnny 5, what's good, man? Jared says he sees 11 wins. I like it. There you go. Pegasus says 8-4 and ceiling of 10. I'm fine with that. Don't forget, spring game will be here before you know it. April 23rd. Venmo address, Steven, is there you go, Steven. That's it right there. Carter the Power. Carter, if they let media into practice, would you be considered part of that? And would you go? I think I could get in. I know the media director, Michael Bonnet. I haven't talked to him in years. I think I could get in. But yeah. I'd like to go. Not the be all end all for me, to go to practice, but it'd be nice to go. Thank you, Steven. I appreciate it. Steven joining the T-shirt club, man. Getting a LeBrandon Tofield rookie. You got to be a diehard LSU football fan to love some LeBrandon Tofield. Good stuff. Also, I'm a little shocked that nobody, and I mean nobody, has brought up the juiciest rumor of my favorite LSU Tiger of all time. It's kind of hard for me to say he's my absolute favorite, but he is the one I decided to build my card collection around. The one guy that I love near and dear to my heart. There you go. Skipper joined the T-shirt club for his grandson, excuse me. What do y'all think about these Tyrann Mathieu rumors? There you go. The honey badger with the Saints. I'd buy that jersey so quick. There you go, Skipper. Good stuff, man. Joining the T-shirt club. Who thinks Tyrann Mathieu to the Saints is something that can actually happen? That's what I'm curious. Have you watched Winning Time? It's really good. The sad part is Magic Johnson says he doesn't like it and won't watch it. Yeah. I don't think it's sad. They base it off of Jeff Pearlman's book, and Jeff Pearlman is a notorious journalistic author, right? He's not going to sugarcoat things, right? And, I think that's what is going to make the series a big success is that, it's not going to be, the most glowing rendition of how those Lakers teams actually were, whether that be in a very negative light or more in a, debaucherous light, such as the, craziness surrounding that team. I'm surprised that KC would let him leave. Yeah, but when Patrick Mahomes is getting paid as much money as he's getting paid, Chris Jones and Travis Kelce and the Cheetah, you got a bunch of mouths to feed, right? So we'll see. But yeah. So we always do it as we approach 2 hours. We will answer as many questions in the next 5 minutes as we possibly can. If not, if we don't get to your question, actually, we will get to your question. But in the next 5 minutes, I'll answer as many as we possibly can. If you do super chat, we'll keep this party moving along. Good to see you, Adrian. Jared says the Saints are about to go 6-11. 6-11? Really? 6-11? Yeah, I don't know what that offense is going to look like without Alvin Kamara, right? I think Alvin Kamara knows he's going to be suspended to start the season, right? So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Jameis. So, we'll see. Little height, we're about to end this, so you'll be able to hear the very front of it. But if you super chat, I'll go back over the quarterback thing. Carter, you're so right. You told the truth the minute I saw Norm Mixon do magic like that at a party. Yeah, so I hadn't watched the show yet, Reed, but yeah, no play caller. Oh, you're not a believer in Pete Carmichael. I know a lot of Saints fans were disappointed that they didn't go out and just get someone else, right? Get someone else to actually call the plays. I know a lot of Saints fans aren't happy that they didn't go get an offensive coach, period, and that they decided to go with Dennis Allen, right? But it is what it is. Yeah, Skipper. Obviously, it would be a dream of mine to see Tyrann Mathieu play for the Saints. I just don't. I just don't think it's going to happen. For some reason in my gut, I think he's going to be back with Kansas City. I do. But we'll see. Well, there you go. Well, all right, guys. This was a fun live chat. We will see you again Thursday night, potentially with the guests. Still working on one. Had to reschedule with a really fun LSU player. We'll hopefully get to that pretty soon. So, yeah. And T-Mill. I've been missing you, T-Mill. Good to see you. Don't forget, we should be dropping another Jayden Daniels film study tomorrow night. We dropped part 1 last night. We will probably drop one again tomorrow. This was a really great, fun show. It is. Power Hour LSU. Boom. Thanks to all the super chatters tonight. That includes Skipper. That includes J Rad, baby. That includes Donovan. That includes our good friend Josh Fines. And he's still the president of the MYLES BRENNAN fan club. And tonight, we're doing some carne asada tonight from Trader Joe's. Let's go. Let's go.